I wish that she would have not worked as hard to enjoy her life. Hi, it's me, Mila Martinico, and welcome to another episode of At Home with me, Mama Mila. Today, we are just gonna have a little kitchen chat. I know that you guys have heard me for years talk about my Nonna and just talk about like how the restaurant is me preserving her legacy. And I know that everybody knows my heart for Italian American culture. And I know that because like I've had people come at me and be like, you're not an off the boat Italian. You blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know, guys. Like, trust me. I told my mom the other day, I said, hey, Nonna and Nonnu immigrated here. And I feel like all I want to do is go back and learn and experience Italy, like to bring that back to share with people. And it really is a shame that I've always been too poor to do it. But that shall be changing. Me and my little positive affirmations. Your girl's gonna be rich enough for us all to go. That's another tangent. Should I talk about the time that Nonna and I were making Thanksgiving dinner and we got haunted by the ghost that lives at the restaurant? That was fun. But then I was just thinking about Nonna and like what it was to cook Thanksgiving dinner with her, because every Thanksgiving we'd have, I'm not even joking, 80 people at Thanksgiving, and the whole restaurant would be full, and we would make like 3 or 4 turkeys. Someone would sneak in a ham. Nonna freaking hated ham. She was like, what is this? And she always made sure that there was pasta. But I just kind of, there's so many things that I admired about my Nonna. And I think that a lot of people saw her as someone who never stopped working. And you guys, he cannot get cuter. But something that I think people don't realize is that I wish that she would have not worked as hard to enjoy her life. It's really hard to work for a lifestyle and not be able to enjoy it. And that's really what my Nonna did. And so when I opened up the restaurant, I took all of the things she taught me, and and seeing her work so hard only to die like so tragically and so suddenly, and be like, you know what, how do I honor like my family, honor God, and honor my time with having the restaurant open, and not work myself to the bone? Because at the end of the day, like there's been many times where I could have just thrown in the towel from being burnt out. I mean, when we fought to stay open, I had a mini stroke. And so I could have just shut everything down. But I think I learned how to make boundaries from her. And I'm not trying to make this like my little like ADD brain chat, whatever. But I think I learned boundaries from her. And I learned something beautiful in honoring food. I know that sounds like weird because I've talked about, diet culture and how that's affected my life. But when I say honoring food, I mean like not wasting food. And the reason why I thought about this, he's just the best. The reason why I thought about this was because I was thinking about her Thanksgiving stuffing and like how she basically bamboozled us all with this stuffing by putting like the chicken necks and like gizzards and like all the weird stuff that's inside the turkey. She would put it in the stuffing, and like then she would put, which I haven't seen anybody else do this, but I make my stuffing this way, and where I put hard-boiled eggs and pepperoni in it and like Romano. It sounds weird, but it is so freaking good. And I had an orphan's Thanksgiving like 2 years ago where I invited anybody who lived here that was an orphan, had no family. We all got together and everyone was like flipping out about the stuffing. Well, I did, pepperoni and hard-boiled eggs, but I just remember my Nonna telling me that Italians have such a different way of looking at eating food. And basically, I saw another person actually talk about it. It's my friend Brittany. And because she raises cattle, and she said, you know, give your animal one bad day. And so Italians really take that to heart. So we never waste food. So I'm always at the restaurant, you know, Jeremy, who works for me, he's worked in many restaurants, and he always says, this is the restaurant with like the least amount of waste. I get the old focaccia and I turn it into breadcrumbs. I make sure that there's no waste with anything. You know, I'm always telling everybody, scrape the container, get it all out, because there's money sitting there. And that's all things that I think might be a reason why we're still here, with, you know, how the economy's been the last 4 years. And I think that's helped with that. And just like our heart for people, which I also received from my Nonna. And just being like a servant and having like a servant's heart to people and wanting people to feel loved. You know, they always say that like the kitchen is like the heart of the home, and I really do believe that. And I really believe that as an Italian American, keeping on the tradition of this is my kitchen is my heart, and it's my favorite thing. I love to cook. I love to be here. I mean, even if I'm here by myself or having my kids help me, I purposely made an island where my husband can just sit and watch me and talk to me as I cook. And I don't know, it just makes me happy. And it brings me such a peace. You know, just reflecting on the things that my Nonna taught me. And nobody ever left her house hungry, which is kind of crazy because that lady had the most empty refrigerator ever. But she would make you pastina. You know, she always had garlic and like a tomato and basil and a can of clams and a pound of pasta and Romano. And she could throw together spaghetti and clams after working in the yard all day long. She had the most greenest thumb of anybody that you know. Like, we would be shopping, and not that we shopped all the time, but I think like 3 times a year she wanted to go to Nordstrom's to get her pants, which you guys know Nordstrom's like the bougie. And so I loved going because I love the smell of Nordstrom's. I just like pretending I was rich. And Nonna would be like walking and she'd see a plant that she liked and she'd be like, 1 second, and she'd go like cut off a piece of this plant. By that time next year, there's a whole damn bush of this plant in her yard. And she'd be like, you remember that time we went to Nordstrom's and I took that little piece of the plant? There it is. And I was like, are you kidding me? She's so amazing, you guys. I wish you guys could have met her, because I'll tell, actually, now as I'm like reflecting on it, it might be a good thing. I think Nunzio agrees. That's the Holy Spirit confirming. I don't know if she would do well in these times, because whenever a customer would try and like cop some audacity with her, she did not mess around. And she was like flat out would be like, I was a stowaway to get here. Like on a ship, I was a day laborer, and I did not work my entire life for you to come here and tell me, you know, whatever that they want to say. I mean, we got a bad review because some lady didn't like the size of our napkins. Let me tell you right now, Nonna would have went to her house with a napkin and shoved it down her throat. So maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. But I will say, I'm trying really hard to honor my Nonna's legacy. Be Christ-like and not so hood. Because you know your girl's always got the receipts. That's the best thing about being Italian. If you knew the files on my computer, baby. No, I'm just kidding. That's terrible. Don't let the FBI come after me. Anyways, okay. This is I'm trying not to have an ADD brain kitchen chat. So basically, this is what my Nonna taught me. Family first in the kitchen. Kitchen is the heart of the home. I love the way she was always feeding my nonno. That's how I got Matteo. So that worked out for me. Don't waste food. Always try to find ways to repurpose. I think that's something that's really great. And Number 5 is something she inadvertently taught me, which was don't work so hard and be so busy that you don't enjoy life. And I really feel like that is the main thing that I'm going to be focusing on next year. Because this year was a year of survival for us with just my pregnancy, nunzio, surgeries, all the things, and the restaurant and the economy. And so I feel like I've just been having this stirring in my spirit of like, how do I live life where I'm looking every single day to see like the beauty in each day and taking time to live like they do in Italy, which is like la dolce vita, you know? And yeah, how do you live slowly in America where we don't get to close every day for 4 hours and relax and go home and be with our family and then go back to work? Like, how do we do that? If you've got any ideas, throw them to me. If you've been to Italy, can you please describe to me what it's like? I mean, it's different like hearing it from you in comments or in stories when you come into the restaurant and you tell me, because I don't know what it's like. And I would rather hear it from you than from some influencer that has $5 million that can go to Italy any time that they want. You know what I mean? Or is getting paid to say something. So if you have any advice, let me know. And I don't even really remember what I said, but I love you. I hope somebody can relate to my brain. Anyways, I love you. Thank you for coming to my little kitchen chat. And as always, you know, like and subscribe if you aren't completely irritated by me today. And Tanti Baci, my friend. See you next time.